Well, we've got everybody back from last year, and but we still have a lot of kids coming back from injuries. So we've only got 9 kids at practice right now. That's assuming there aren't any virus quarantines. So we haven't been able to do a lot. Out of the first 6 weeks here that we've been able to do anything, we've only had the whole team there for 2 weeks. So I think this is going to be a slow process for us. I wish it wasn't, but it is. But I think we're focusing now just trying to help our kids get better and be patient. Which I think that's kind of the whole world right now, is to be patient and just try to take care of what you can take care of, control what you can control. But if we can get everybody back, I feel really good. We'll have a lot of balance, which Maddie and Chelsea definitely need.
Thanks, Coach. I want to ask you one, and then we'll go into the media and the chat. Obviously, your team has picked the preseason favorite. You got all the players back. Can you talk, though, about the rest of the league? There are a lot of returning players and teams at the top there. Maybe some of the deepest the league's been in a while.
Well, the league is like it always is, and then you have 2 or 3 teams at the top, and then you have this big log jam in the middle, and then you've got 1 or 2 teams near the bottom, and it's been that way forever. But the biggest thing that's happened in the league over my tenure, which is getting a long time, is we started out around 30 in the RPI, and we've steadily moved up. And so our middle and bottom teams are not middle and bottom like they used to be. You've got to come to play every night in the league. And I think that if we can continue, we're flirting with one more step and really being a really, really strong league. And when I mean top 15 league, we're close. And I think that this year there's a lot of talent in the league, a lot of kids back, and you may see us make a big jump. I don't know. The virus is definitely going to throw a wrench into a lot of plans, but the league is probably the best that I've ever seen it.
And this is a silly question, but is that because there's better players, better coaches? Is it both, or is there something else that I'm not saying?
I think it's just competition. I think that when you compete and you're competitors, that you figure out ways. And so I think the coaching is solid. I think the players are solid. And I think as the bar has been set through the years, you have a choice. It's either to try to reach up there and meet it, or to back down. And we've just got a league right now. And I think with all of those things that people are trying to stay all around that bar. And I think that's what keeps the league getting better. Better coaches, better players. So where it goes from here, I don't know. But I think the coaching, we've got some kids that are some BCS level kids that are in the league now. Thompson from SEMO could play anywhere. And so I think that you're going to see the league continue to take strides. And who knows, with the virus this year, this could end up being a year where we make this huge jump because other leagues may not play near as many games.
All right, we'll go to some questions. Jeff Bidwell, if you'd like to start out.
Kevin, when we talked over the summer, you had sort of had that injury management consultant come in and take a look at how you guys were doing things. Did you ever get any, I guess, what was the feedback you got from them, sort of how you operated and how you're trying to operate in the future to limit those injuries?
Well, we had good news and bad news, Jeff. The good news is that we were doing good things, which I really didn't want to hear. I wanted to hear we were doing bad things so we could fix them all. The news that we got were individualized, that a lot of our kids needed some work in some strength areas, some agility areas, some balance issues. And so we've been trying really hard since then to work on all those things with our kids, because, win or lose, I just don't want kids hurt that hamper them in the short run. And I definitely don't want them hurt that hampers them in the long run. I don't want them to have knee issues in 20 years like I do. But so far, so good. We are working on those things and hope that it's going to get a lot better.
From your perspective, how is Maddie and her sort of fighting through and I'll get her answer here in 10 minutes, but from your perspective, how's Maddie doing?
Well, since she gets to talk second, I better be really careful because she'll get the last word in. I think she's going to tell you that her back is as good as it's been in a long time because for Maddie and Chelsea, the virus has probably been a good thing because it has forced them. And I was going to shut them down anyway for a couple of months after the season, but with the virus, it sort of made it easy. And I think those two are as healthy as they've been. Now there's going to be a little soreness as you start back up. But again, I just want those two healthy and to have a good year. But body-wise, those two are as healthy as they've been since they were freshmen.
In terms of your non-conference, where do we stand with that? Are you playing 5? Are you playing 7? Are you playing less than 5? And do you know when and who you'll be starting with?
We've got 5 right now. We've got an MTE that we're going to play, and then we've got 2 others. So we've got 1 extra game if we can find it. And we've got what's so funny is I've got 2 or 3 teams that we've agreed if something happens and we need a game, we're just going to call up and go play. So I'm not 100% sure how that'll end up, but we do have 5 non-conference games right now.
She's still got another chapter to write here with Chelsea, and obviously she's a different type of player than some of your other all-time greats that you've had the privilege to coach. But in terms of maybe her place and sort of the lexicon of the all-timers there at UT Martin, and where do you sort of put her and I hate to have you reflect on her career with a whole year to go, but just what she has done for your program over 3 years.
Well, I mean, her numbers are just off the charts, and her name is right up there with all that. We've just had some really, really good players since I've been here, and it's been fortunate to coach them, and it's great to coach her. They're all different, but she has grown probably more than anyone that I've had here from her freshman year. The class in general has been great. Those 6 kids have been here for 4 years, and they fit together perfectly. They push each other. I think Chelsea would tell you she wouldn't be the player she was without Maddie. And Maddie will tell you that about Chelsea. And then there'll be others. And I think Chelsea's, she's actually hoping that, I heard her yesterday tell one of the players, shoot the ball every time you touch it. So that's Chelsea Perry wanting us to take another step as a team, and she's not really worried about her individual stuff because she's mature enough now to figure out all that's going to take care of itself. So the leader in Chelsea Perry may be the biggest jump that I've seen her make, but it's just very fortunate to get to coach that whole class, and she's definitely going to be one of the best we've had.
When you have a duo like Chelsea and Maddie together, sort of in that senior leadership role, and kids that are as productive as they are and decorated as they are, how much sort of weight does that take off your shoulders, I guess, in terms of culture and team building and all that you know that this can be you can lean on those ladies to be able to really help run the program?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. It takes a ton off of me that those 2 kids and the other 4, but those 2 specifically because they're the seniors that have got the least amount of eligibility, and maybe Demi, but so those 2 can get everybody at practice focused a lot of times, and I don't have to worry about it. So it takes a lot of pressure off me in preparation. If things aren't going well, they'll fix it. But the flip of that is it puts more pressure on me personally because I want those 2 to have great careers overall. And so I want to be a better coach to try to help those kids have a great season. And what we all know as a team in our culture is that we just want to be the best for each other that we can be. And as long as we do the best we can, there's, nothing else really matters at the end of the day.
Anybody else has questions, let me know down in the chat. Coach, is there somebody outside your seniors and your upperclassmen that you think is going to take a big leap that maybe people aren't really paying attention to because you have the strong senior class?
Well, I think Demi Burdick is going to be one that is going to surprise people. It's going to be like, where did this kid come from? Reagan Johnson's another one. She's a post kid. Both these are post kids that I think people are going to be a little bit wondering why these kids were sitting over there on the bench last year. Our guards are going to be, when they get back healthy, it's going to be like, again, where were these guys? And there's 2 or 3 of them. So, but the problem is I don't know when they're getting back and which ones will be back. And so it's kind of that be patient and let's wait and hope that they're all healthy when they come back.
And maybe then outside of injuries or knowing that, is there a biggest challenge for this team to get together and play like they can play?
Probably the challenge will be around the virus. Can we get into some type of rhythm? My program is built on routines and rhythm, and can we get in those rhythms and routines as we practice and as we play? And now we also are very very good at handling curveballs when they're thrown at us. And I think with as experienced as we are, we should be able to. So I hope that the biggest issue for us is going to be, can we just take care of our business every day? And if we can do that, we'll take the outcomes however they are.
And since you said curveballs, just let's take it back to the end of last year. Obviously, you lose in the championship game. You're going to be playing some type of postseason, but it didn't happen. How do you get over that disappointment? Is it quick to just put it behind it because it affected everybody? And is that motivating anybody? Like, well, this year we'll do everything we can, and hopefully there will be postseason.
Well, I think last year was what we were doing at the time was trying to develop a 6th point guard for the year, and we actually were getting somewhere in those 4 or 5 days that we practiced. And I think when the virus hit, though, it was such a phenomenon that you just has never happened. I think that overrode any sadness that your season was ended. It was just so shocking. So I don't think the kids are that distraught about not having a postseason because nobody did. I think that they're just focused now on being the best they can be in this season, whatever that brings and whatever that means.
I've got one. I don't think there's any more in chat. I got one more, and then we'll switch and let you go. I don't think Jeff touched on this, but you talked about your schedule. So we're going to play 20 conference games this year. So you're going to get 2 more games against those teams you talked about and the balance and depth. Can you speak to that and playing the 20 conference games on the schedule?
Well, I think we should go ahead and play with the virus as it is. I would have thought we would play 22 because it just, to me, it made more sense because you're playing your OVC teams that are all under the same protocols. So I think we probably could have got in more that way. And I'm a little scared of the tiebreaker given that you're playing 20. And especially if you're going to start, if teams have the virus and you don't get to get those games in. But the bottom line is everybody's doing the best that they can do. And we're trying to do what we think is the best for our conference, or I hope that we are. And hopefully we'll get all these games in and it won't make any difference. Hopefully the tiebreakers won't matter. Hopefully we'll get the best teams to go to the NCAA tournament. Hopefully we can get, 2 of the men's teams in, and I hope it all works out. But it's such a crazy season that I think everybody is going to, at the end of the day, get a pass on whatever, because you're making the best decisions at the time with the information that you have. So I hope it all works out for everybody.
I lied. I got one more, and then I will for sure.
Keep on rolling, Kyle. You and I can talk all day.
We'll cancel the rest of the media day. And I'm just
okay. All right.
Let's talk about off the court. And some of the coaches got asked this yesterday about just the first of all, the family atmosphere around programs. But most of our schools are in communities that are smaller, so your community supports you, but your team can be active in the community too. Can you just talk about that off the court family sort of atmosphere that is present?
Well, that's present or that's missing right now?
Well, let's talk in normal times, and not obviously you can't do some of that right now.
Okay. Well, normal times, we're going to the hospital, we're downtown working at the festival, we're out in the community a lot, and the fans here know our kids well. We go up in the stands after every game and they talk to the fans that have come and watched them, because I think the relationships are the most important things. And that's always been the way we felt it should be. And we've tried to, our kids go to Walmart and they're going to get stopped and talked to, and they're going to go out to eat and they're going to get stopped and talked to. And I love that. because of those relationships that get developed. And some of them may last a lot longer than 4 years, and I hope they do. This situation is very different because most of that we can't do. And I'm a little sad for some of our kids because they're not going to get to enjoy the year as much because they're not going to have those relationships with those fans and our community that we usually get to have. So we're going to try to do some things, but I don't know right now. I think right now the focus is just keeping everybody safe, and hopefully we can pick that stuff back up when we've got some sense of normalcy.
Well, that is the last question I have for you. That's a
Come
good.
on, Kyle, you got another one.
I appreciate that, and we appreciate your time this morning. And best of luck to your team this year.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.